Hello everyone, this is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of Daily Stock, we are going to look at the quarterly earnings of a exploration and producing production company which operates in multiple countries across the world and on different continents, and it has been doing well. And there is one big reason why it is doing well in comparison to the last year is because of the elevated average prices prevailing in the current year in comparison to the last year's average prices for the crude oil, and that is one major reason to upgrade the ConocoPhillips outlook because it is a major producer, and if the crude oil prices go up, if it is able to realize higher revenues on the back of rising crude oil prices, that is going to be that much more profitable for the ConocoPhillips to pump up the crude oil, and that was the reason why it did phenomenally well in the year 2022. But as the economy is cooled off and we saw the light crude oil as well as the Brent crude oil prices declining in the 2023, the price, the revenues, and the profit of the ConocoPhillips went down from $18 billion to around $10 billion. That's almost a dip of 40 percentage point in the earnings of the company. But this time around, we are expecting the earnings of the ConocoPhillips to rise again, and depending on its realized average price over the year, it is expected to gain maybe a 30 to 40 percentage point increase in its earnings for the full year. Of course, the outlook is always going to be uncertain. A lot of factors are needed to go in the favor of Phillips to get that outlook right. But the thing is that at the current moment, the prices indeed remain elevated, and that's how the forecast has been made. Now, let us go to its fourth quarter's earnings report for the fiscal year 2023. In it, you can see that the revenues had started to recover, and the ConocoPhillips was able to achieve the total revenues of US dollar 15.3 billion, which is the increase over the earnings of it in the prior two quarters. Of course, in year-on-year terms, the earnings were lower by around 20-25 percentage point, but that was mainly because of the lower crude oil prices prevailing in the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2023 in comparison to the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2022. Now, with net income coming to US dollar 3 billion, you can see that it has been able to achieve its highest quarterly earnings for the year 2023 in the fourth quarter. So it points to the rising efficiency along with the better realization of the pricing for the crude oil. So both these factors point to the better days ahead because the crude oil prices are on the higher side, as well as at the same time the company has been able to achieve its key projects needed to increase its production, and as a result of that its expected production of the crude oil is likely to be its best ever. It is hoping for the record oil production in the ongoing fiscal year, and also there is LNG terminal project, and that is also going to contribute highly to the company's revenue. So All these factors taken together paint a rosy picture for the coming quarters of the ConocoPhillips. The only question is whether the company will be able to live up to the expectations or not, because in the expectations of better earnings ahead, the stock is already being bought by many of the investors. And if you look at the year-to-date performance of the stock price of the ConocoPhillips, you will see that it has grown around 20 percentage point from its price at the start of the year to now where it is. And this factor makes the analysis of its income statement that much more interesting, because we have to compare the earnings report with the developments in the financial market to get a firm grip on the development and then respond accordingly. Now, as I said, it has achieved the highest quarterly earnings for the fiscal year 2023 in the fourth quarter, and that points to the more efficient company as well. Now, for the ongoing quarter, that is the first quarter of fiscal year 2024, this positive trajectory is expected to unfold, and in the course of time, that is in the second half of this year, the things are expected to get even better. The company has been able to achieve the strong cash inflows, and it is also in a way trying to reward its investors in multiple ways. It has announced a major dividend, and also it is going for the share buyback program. And there is third factor also, which I am not able to recall at the moment, but it also pertains to the money being paid to the shareholders. So all these initiatives are enriching the shareholders. At the same time, the company is doing financially quite well, so it doesn't really have to worry much about cash at hand, as the cash pile the company is sitting on is quite comfortable, and its cash flows are on the stronger side. There is strong cash flow generation from the operating side. So all these are contributing to the positive cash flows for the company as well, using which the company is trying to reward its shareholders. If you look at the net income report, you will see that after the fiscal year 2020 second, the things pulled off, and the revenues and the net profit declined in the first half of fiscal year 2023. But by the fourth quarter of 2023, there was improvement in the outlook for the company, and its earnings also started to pick up. So all these factors point to the positive trajectory on the cash flow side. Now let us look at the cash flow statement itself. We are not going to go into the all the details of the company's operations listed here in these information about its quarterly earnings, because we are constrained by the time. So all we have to do is look at the key highlights and then try to infer from that the forecast, the outlook for the company's share price performance over coming few months, if not coming few quarters. Here we have this consolidated balance sheet. All right, the cash flow statement is also with us now. In the fourth quarter, the company was able to generate 5.2 billion from the operational activities. Out of that, it used $5.85 in the investing activity. Mainly, it was for the capital expenditure and the acquisition of businesses. Cash flow from financing activity also points to the value enhancement for the shareholders because there was money spent of $1.1 billion for the repurchase of company's common stock, and then there is dividend payment for of $1.4 billion to the shareholders as well. It has presence in varied geographies across the world. It is operating in Alaska, Lower 48, Canada, Middle East, Europe, North America, North Africa, North America as well, and the Asia Pacific. So we also have the segment wise information about its spending. This is the different segments and how much money these segments are bringing in. The crude oil, national NGL, and bitumen and natural gas. These segments have been listed here. Now we head to the JForex platform to see if there are emerging opportunities for us to trade and invest. In the last few weeks, its stock price has rallied from around 110 to now sitting at 130, and it is still ongoing. So this rally is looking quite solid, and if it doesn't really decline much below 125, we can indeed go for a long trade in the ConocoPhillips shares with the expectations of continuous rally in the coming weeks as well, and that is likely to take its share price towards 150 if not more. So for us, over the next few days, it is going to be important to keep an eye on the ConocoPhillips share price, and if it doesn't really dip much from the ongoing prices, then it can be considered as the retracement, and again, this red hot stock of the ConocoPhillips is likely to start rallying again, and it will be better for us to be prepared for that eventuality. If we expand our time horizon to the medium term, then also it seems like that the train has left the station because in the last 1 month only, the stock price has rallied from around 110 to 130. That's the gain of around 20 percentage point. And on this elevated level, it will be interesting to see how things shape up, and if we see extended consolidation around the current levels, then we can even go for the newer trading opportunity after a few weeks on the elevated levels as well. But for the time being, we will have to be cautious. I have already said that if you get any trading opportunity in the short run, you can exploit that. Otherwise, it will demand patience and watch on these share price movements over next few weeks. From the longer term perspective, things are equally solid, and here also, after consolidation close to the 100 level, it has started to rally again, and this time around, it feels like that the ConocoPhillips is likely to surpass 138, which was its prior swing high coming in the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2022. Now it is pretty much on track to reach those price levels, and I have already listed the reasons why there was this steep decline in the share price of the ConocoPhillips, and after that, the long consolidation, and only recently the full swing pickup and rise of the stock price. So for next few weeks, I think now the train has left the station. I am repeating here, and by that I mean we will have to wait for our time under the sun, and maybe we can go for the newer trade after further correction and consolidation in comparison to the execution of the trade straight away in the hope that it is likely to cross above the price swing high. So that's all from my side for today's session. If you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. If you want to access equally interesting sessions hosted by me as well as other hosts, you can like and subscribe to the channel and you will be getting notifications regarding these sessions organized by technical analysts at Dukascopy Bank SA. Thank you all for the joining in and see you next time around. Till then, goodbye.